it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Arrow Season 2, Episode 14, Time of Death. And I gotta say, guys, I just thought this episode was okay. I really didn't think it was that good of an episode. We've been getting some really great episodes lately, and this, however, was not one of them. I thought this episode was just okay. I didn't like it as much. I don't know, there was something about that I did not like. There were some good scenes, I will admit that. There were a couple scenes that I really liked in this episode. Other than that, though, I really didn't like the episode very much. And you know what? This episode has kind of made me stop wanting Felicity and Oliver together because we kind of saw in this episode she's kind of unstable. She's kind of just unstable a lot, and it's just, I don't know, I think we need to wait a while for Felicity and Oliver to actually get together. I think that needs to be way far down the line, definitely. So anyone who's like shipping them together, I'm not really shipping them anymore. I think now that he's with Sarah, it kind of isn't going to work for him. And I kind of like him and Sarah together. So let's just get to the episode, though. Because, again, I just thought it was okay. It wasn't anything huge, except for the ending. The ending was really big. I will admit that. The ending was big. But wasn't into the rest of the episode. So we see this guy, the Clock King, who is instructing two men via an earpiece to steal something. The Clock King is able to orchestrate everything with perfect timing. And then we cut to the Arrow hideout where Sarah's training with Dick and Oliver. They take a break and begin comparing scars. Knife wounds, bullet holes, even grenade shrapnel from past battles. And Felicity chimes in about her scars. Inside her mouth from some impacted wisdom teeth, 3 stitches, and the henchmen deliver the item they stole to Talkman. He scolds them for not following his plan all the time. One of the henchmen get a bit aggressive, and the Clock King kills him using a piece from a clock as his weapon. So Detective Lance, along with Sarah and Oliver, are investigating the murder of the henchman. It is revealed that the item the Clock King had stolen was a code-breaking device called the Skeleton Key. It could be adapted to open bank vaults. And at the Arrow hideout, Felicity's working out, probably trying to impress Oliver. Sarah helps her out a little bit with some fighting techniques. Oliver interrupts. He wants Felicity to focus on stopping the Clock King, who is probably at least her equal at cyber stuff. And again, this is a good plot that Felicity is kind of feeling neglected. You know, I enjoyed this, but still, it was just an okay plot, and it seemed really silly. It didn't really seem like something Arrow would do. It seemed kind of silly. I didn't think this was the direction they were going with the Felicity, Sarah, Oliver storyline. I thought it was going to be something completely different, and I'm actually not really happy where they went with it. The Clock King and his men are robbing a bank. Arrow and Sarah show up to foil it, but Talkman hacks into Felicity's communications channel with Arrow and tells him that he was hacked into the transit system. Arrow saves a bus while Sarah goes after Talkman and his men. She manages to hit Talkman in the head, but he and his henchmen get away with the bank money. So Sarah has some of Talkman's blood. She and Felicity figure out that Talkman has a terminal disease, and she get his identity. They also figure out he's stealing money to try to save his sister, who needs a lung transplant. So Canary and Arrow go to investigate Talkman's house, but it is a cyber trap that allows Talkman to hack into their network again. Felicity is powerless to stop him as he somehow causes a feedback that fries all the computers in the Arrow layer. He used the skeleton key to do it, and Oliver decides to try to trap Talkman by liquidating some stock as bait. He and Sarah go to the Lance family party, while Felicity and Dig try the computer equipment. Felicity confides to Dig. Now, this scene I really like. I thought this scene kind of picked up things a little bit. This was where I was enjoying it more. Felicity confides in Dig that she feels really inadequate next to Sarah. He tells her she is being very silly. She's being silly, but I thought this was a pretty good scene. I enjoyed this scene because it's kind of, Diggle is right. She is being kind of silly about this. I mean, Felicity, I didn't think would act that way. Felicity seemed like a very strong character. This is not exactly what I expected. So Felicity then does something really stupid to try to help catch Talkman. She hides on the bank she knows he's going to try to rob. And Oliver, Sarah, and Dig go to the bank to help her out. Talkman's men are robbing the bank, but Arrow stops them. Meanwhile, Talkman has set up the bank's gas system to blow, but Dig is able to disable it. Felicity figures out a way to track where Talkman is, and she and Canary go after him. Felicity saves Canary when Talkman tries to shoot them, getting shot in the process. Talkman is about to shoot them anyway when Felicity uses a program to cause Talkman's cell phone to electrocute him. Felicity in the field is a win, and she even got her own bullet scar. So, And that was pretty much what happened there with that plot. That was, she got her own bullet scar, and Felicity actually was victorious with something. It was pretty cool to see that, and I was happy with that. But still, I thought this plot was just kind of silly. Now the other thing is that we do get to see that Oliver and Oliver and Moira are not getting along well at all. They don't really like each other at the moment. He doesn't have a good relationship with his mother. He's mad at her for many things. The whole campaigning thing. Also the fact that she did not tell Thea that Malcolm Merlin is her actual father. He's very upset with her at that. And the biggest reveal of this episode is he goes to the Queen Mansion looking for Thea. But Moira's there, she's in a meeting, and brings Oliver to see who the meeting is, and it is Slade. And Oliver's shocked to see him, and he says, "It's a pleasure to meet you." Now, obviously, we know Slade was there, but why did he reveal himself like this? I don't really understand that. It didn't seem like something that Slade would do. It just seemed kind of silly, honestly. I mean, it was a huge reveal, but it was done in a very silly way. I do not think it should have been done like that. It should have been done in a much bigger... I felt like there could have been a much bigger way to do it, but I am really looking forward to seeing what Slade's going to do. As far as the Sarah and Laurel stuff, this plot I kind of like. I like the way they went with this plot. I like the way that Oliver kind of told Laurel that she's being a bitch, although she already knew she was being a bitch, so there's really nothing new to this, except for a few things. So they were trying to throw this party for Sarah coming back, and Oliver wanted Laurel to go. Oliver is being very awkward. At some point, the conversation turns to, eventually he's throwing a huge party for Sarah's return from the dead. Sin is very excited to see her old friend that she forgets that no one is supposed to know they are friends. Speaking of Sin, where the hell is Roy? Roy has not been on since episode 13. It is now episode 12. It's now episode 14, and he is still not back. So where is he? I don't know. Do you guys know? Is the guy Colton? What the hell is his name? I can't think of his name right now. The guy that plays Roy, is he doing another project? What is taking him from? Where is he? I really would like to see that character come back because it's really annoying that he's not back. I think it's annoying because he's a very strong character. He had a lot going, and now he's not there. It's annoying for me. But Oliver and basically they cover up with some story about Sin liking to hear people come back from the dead. Sin is very funny and clever. They need to do more with that. And Sin's a great character. I really am enjoying her character. And Laurel, by the way, is refusing to come to the party. So, he has to try to convince her to come. So at the Lance party, Oliver's being very awkward. At some point, the conversation turns to Mrs. Lance, perhaps moving back to Starling City. She says she has a life in Central City, and even admits she has found a new man in her life. This prompts Sarah and Oliver to accidentally give away that they are back together again, which sends Laurel into a huge bit of anger, and inviting Oliver to the party was a really bad idea. Now, this scene I really liked as well. She storms out of the apartment, Oliver chases her, he lectures her for blaming everyone but herself for her problems, and this is true, she's blaming literally everyone for herself except for her problems, and Oliver, she says, "Are you done?" And he says, "I'm done caring, I'm done running after you." He's done trying to help her, and he's done with her. He doesn't want anything else to do with her, and, it's pretty sad, but she had it coming. She did. Laurel had it coming. I'm not surprised that this happened to her. She had it coming. She's been giving shit to everybody all these episodes. She deserves it. Laurel deserves to be treated that way. She really deserves that. And I really hope that now that Oliver's done this, she now is going to realize that he was right. And so at the nightclub, we find out that Sarah's actually a new bartender. Laurel comes in to talk to her. She wants to make up with her sister. Laurel's finally coming to grips with her own problems. "Please don't hate me," Laurel says. And they finally, everything's okay between them. So I'm really happy that Laurel is coming through with this. I'm really happy about that. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she's going to fix things. Definitely, Oliver, I was very happy with his character right there because she really needed to hear that. So then we find out that the girl in the picture, the one Sarah promised to protect, is actually Sin. Now, this is a really bad reveal. It's pretty predictable. because we did not know why Sin was at that party, and now it makes perfect sense. It really is just, it's a stupid reveal. I don't like that reveal at all. You know, the fact that it took Sarah 6 years to actually get back to Starling City to protect Sin, it makes things stupid. Do we have a reason for Sarah and Sin to be friends? Well, why are they, I don't understand. Why are they friends? What's the point of that? And so that was the other plot. Now, the only other thing is the island flashbacks. Not really much in this episode. Sarah, Slade, and Oliver, they're playing aboard Ivo's ship. They are distracted as a plane flies overhead. The plane gets shot out of the sky as our heroes look through the wreckage of the plane. They find the pilot, who is still alive barely. Oliver and Slade go off to get medical supplies while Sarah stays with the dying man. He confides in Sarah that his daughter will be an orphan if he dies. He hands her a picture of the girl, makes Sarah promise that she will look out for the girl. The man dies, but Oliver finds a life raft in the plane wreckage that they can use to get to the freighter. This was moving way too quickly. With this, they could have done an episode where we had several stuff of this. This was one big scene, and I thought that was moved way too quickly, and I really was not a fan of that. You know, overall, though, that was your episode, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. I really was not a huge fan of it. Now, I don't really know why Slade suddenly revealed himself to Oliver like that. It seemed like he wanted to have some sort of, like, have Oliver figure out for himself. I don't understand why he just decided to reveal himself to him. I'm sure we're going to find out in the next episode why. But, you know, I'm also kind of upset that Laurel, you know, fixed things in this episode. I would have wanted to see her, like, go really, really, you know, get worse for her before things actually got better for her. I was kind of, you know, surprised at that. But, that was basically the episode, so let me know what you guys thought of it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the Vampire Diaries. So, see you then. Bye.